Hey everyone, today on People Now, new shocking details in the deadly crash involving country star Kylie Ray Harris.
The gym tan lingerie world will never be the same after Snooki's big announcement.
Taylor Swift drops a new track just in time for Christmas.
Jennifer Beals is here with details about the L Word Generation Q.
And get ready for the new thriller from Myles Robbins.
He's also here live. It's all today on People Now. Let's go.
Woo! Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to People Now. Great to see you. It's been a busy day for us already.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel like a Friday because we had some really cool guests on. It's really a stacked day.
Yeah, a lot of
Daniel
stuff coming up.
Radcliffe, Angela Bassett. So those interviews will be coming up later next week.
Yeah, we can't wait for that. Maybe a little from Daniel later in today's show. We have a lot to get to today, though, starting with a pretty sad update. This tragic story. New Mexico police have completed the investigation into the fatal car crash that killed country star Kylie Ray Harris and 16-year-old Maria Cruz in September. The Taos County Sheriff's Office confirmed in a press release on Thursday that Harris was drunk behind the wheel and driving at incredibly high speeds before her vehicle collided with two others. A spokesperson for the sheriff's office reported, quote, data from the car's onboard computers showed Ms. Harris's speed at 102 miles per hour at the time of the first collision event before crossing into the oncoming lane and striking Ms. Cruz's vehicle at 95 miles per hour. Authorities also noted that a toxicology report indicated that Harris's blood alcohol concentration was 0.28, which is 3 times the legal limit for impaired driving. In the wake of the authorities' findings, Harris's family spoke of their sadness that alcohol contributed to the loss of 2 lives. Here's what they had to say in a comment to People. Quote, the family of Kylie Ray Harris received the toxicology report and deeply regret that alcohol contributed to the tragic deaths of Maria Elena Cruz and Kylie. No family should have to endure the heartbreak of losing a child. In September, the Taos County Sheriff's Office told People in a statement that Harris was traveling south on State Road 522 in a black Chevrolet Equinox when she struck a black Chevrolet Avalanche from behind. The impact of the crash was the cause of death for both Harris and Cruz, who were pronounced dead at the scene, and that's according to authorities. The other driver was not seriously injured in that crash. A sheriff told People at the time that Ms. Cruz was an innocent victim of this senseless crash caused by Ms. Harris. Days after the fatal accident, Harris's mother, Betsy, revealed to People that alcohol was, quote, something that Kylie struggled with on and off over the years, but she declined to share more details out of respect to both families. A week after the tragedy, Harris was mourned by her friends and family at a celebration of life service where her 6-year-old daughter, Corby, gave a heartbreaking tribute performance to her mother. She decided to sing Harris's song 20 Years From Now alongside country singer Bonnie Bishop. It's a song that Harris initially wrote for Corby. That song holds a much different meaning now to Corby, of course, who was the center of Harris's world, according to her mom. Betsy told People that Harris, quote, loved Corby beyond everything. She's a wonderful girl, and hopefully her message will continue to live on. Really heartbreaking story. All right, on to this. Mike Sorrentino, a.k.a. The Situation. He is marking a major milestone. On Thursday, the Jersey Shore star shared an Instagram post revealing that he's officially 4 years sober after battling a prescription painkiller addiction. He captioned the pic celebrating 4 years clean and sober, and he included the location tag, living my best life. Mike's family and Jersey Shore co-stars left supportive comments on the post, including Nicole Snooki Polizzi. We love her. She wrote, so proud of you, brother. While his wife Lauren added, you are an inspiration, honey. So proud to call you my husband. Last week, Mike opened up to People about his sobriety journey and said his own decision to get sober came during his 3rd stint in rehab, explaining that he was desperate for results. And he added, I really wanted to be able to look in the mirror again and make myself proud. Well, today, Mike tells us that he's continuing being his best self and is now living his best life and teaching others to do the same. Mike recently celebrated Thanksgiving with his wife Lauren, sharing an Instagram photo that showed the couple smiling as they posed in front of a Christmas tree. The holiday came a little over 2 months after he completed an 8-month prison sentence in September. That was for tax fraud. Prior to Thanksgiving, Mike told People that he's most thankful for, quote, my sobriety, my freedom, my wife, family, and friends, and added, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but don't forget that light is you. We're glad to hear that he's doing well, and if you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please contact the Substance Abuse Helpline. It's 1-800-662-HELP. All right, in related news, Nicole Snooki Polizzi, she's breaking the hearts of Jersey Shore fans around the world by announcing that she is retiring from the reality show. Yes, you did hear that right. Even if Jersey Shore returns for another season, she will not be back. You might be asking yourself, why is this all happening? Well, Snooki says that she hates being away from her kids. She wants to be home as much as possible. She explains, quote, literally leaving my kids to film it is really, really hard on me. And she shares a 5-year-old daughter, Giovanna Marie, and sons 7-year-old Lorenzo Dominic and 6-month-old Angelo James with her husband, Gianni. She says the MTV show's drama and the cattiness actually did factor into her decision as well. Snooki dropped the bombshell news on Friday during her podcast, It's Happening with Snooki and Joey, explaining that while she can't believe that she is actually saying it, her choice to step away from the show is what is best for her at the moment. Jersey Shore first premiered, of course, on MTV back in 2009. The star added that the Jersey Shore of 2019 is not the same show that it was when she first started 10 years ago. She says lately, the reality series has, quote, been very drama and so serious, as she puts it. Snooki also revealed that she and her children have been receiving death threats, and it makes her experience a lot to take and not something that she signed up for with the show. But Snooki fans, don't worry. She also said that this would not be the end of her time on reality TV. Maybe she's got something else in the works.
That's what I was thinking.
And she's always got that podcast. She's going to have her hand in something.
She's very busy.
Let's move on to this. Christmas has arrived early, it turns out, for Taylor Swift fans. Taylor dropping her new holiday song, Christmas Tree Farm, Thursday night. Listen. All right, I'm loving the vibe of this already. I like the jingle bells in there. Taylor, who is also on the cover of our latest issue as one of 4 People of the Year, seems to have written the song pretty recently.
Yes, she made the announcement on Instagram telling her fans that she just decided to put it out. She didn't want to wait a year. She even consulted her cats, apparently, writing, quote, when in doubt, ask the itty-bitty pretty kitty committee. So there you go.
All right. She also posted a photo of the artwork for the single, a picture of her and her childhood dog.
Aww.
Seems to be having a great time with all of it. She captioned, I actually did grow up on a Christmas tree farm in a gingerbread house deep within the yummy gummy gumdrop forest, where funnily enough, this song is their national anthem. She's making it a thing, and I like it.
I do too. Now, the video uses home movies. We get to see moments of Taylor's Christmas past, receiving gifts like a guitar, spending time with her family, even writing a letter to Santa, playing in the snow. These are really adorable. I can see why fans would just love this. Did you ever write notes to Santa?
No, I never did, but I do have videos like this, and I was saying this to you earlier. These videos make me nostalgic.
Yeah,
right? I love that tone.
I ended up recording over a bunch of the home videos that we had of me as a child.
Like
so
on your VHS tape?
Yep, my parents were very upset. So I don't have all of those memories.
That hurts my nostalgic heart.
No, it was a really hard time.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, back to Taylor Swift. The song is sentimental for her. She did grow up on a 15-acre Christmas tree farm in Pennsylvania. The name of it, Pine Ridge Farm. Her formative years there established her love for Christmas.
Yeah.
This video does show all of that. We kind of get a sense of it.
So cool. The music video features so many nostalgic moments filmed by her mother and father, Andrea and Scott Swift, during the holidays. Her parents also appear in the video, along with her brother Austin and other family and friends.
So it's been a while since we've heard Christmas music from Taylor Swift. Christmas Tree Farm is the first original seasonal music that she's put out since the Taylor Swift Holiday Collection. That was her limited release Christmas EP, and that was all the way back in 2007. It has been a while.
I love this video. I could just watch it forever. So cute.
All right, you've got more for us in Star Treks.
I do. We are kicking off Star Treks today with one singer who is a cut above the rest. Pink is debuting a new edgy look. We are loving it. The singer shared a photo on Instagram on Thursday, revealing that she had shaved her head. In the picture, Pink is looking downwards as she holds bits of her blonde hair in her hands. She captioned the post, letting go. Pink also posted a moment from the actual cut to her Instagram story, sharing a photo of her blonde hair scattered on the floor with little scissor emojis. Yeah, she went and did it. Now, this haircut comes almost 3 months after her daughter, Willow Sage, shaved the side of her head. Pink's husband, Carey Hart, shared this photo revealing the new punk rock look with a heartfelt note about his daughter, writing in part, remember everyone, fly your own flag. There is no box to be put in. It's better to be your own self, own it, and love it. Adding a note for Willow at the end, he said, can't wait to see the woman you grow up to be. I have a feeling you're gonna be strong, fierce, compassionate, and caring. I'm so proud of you. That is really, really sweet.
It is. I want my little girl to have this haircut, but she won't do it.
What?
I think that's so
well, she doesn't
cool.
want to have this haircut,
No,
but it is a really cool
I want to
look.
force it.
Yeah. Now, of course, that wasn't the only time Willow was adventurous with her hair. Now, earlier this year, Pink dyed her daughter's hair blue after hearing about the backlash Jessica Simpson received for letting her daughter color her hair purple. Now, Pink posted photos of the dye job, adding several hashtags, including get your own kids and blue hair, don't care.
Your own kids.
I know. I love that she just goes after the trolls,
No,
right?
she has
no
not
time
taking it, yeah.
for trolls. So I think it's really funny. And I like the haircut. All right, Martha Stewart has a new look, and we love it. Look at her.
Woo.
Face framing layers, cool blonde highlights, kind of giving us some Rachel from Friends vibes, but updated for 2020, of course. The makeup is looking good. Look at that fierce look. She is photo shoot ready. Well, Martha shocked her fans this week when she shared this picture on her Instagram, writing apart, "Oh boy, what a great new haircut can do." Also adding that she was now ready for a slew of holiday parties. So you gotta get ready for those. Fans couldn't handle her new style, bombarding the comment section with posts full of praise, with some saying they were not ready for the new look, some calling her an ageless icon. Model Carly Kloss was clearly very impressed, writing, "You look gorgeous." Meanwhile, comedian Heather McMahon couldn't contain her excitement, writing, "Oh, bleep Martha, you look smoking hot, sister." She really does look good.
She does. I was at one of those holiday parties that she came to the other night, and it was like the waters parted as she made her way through, and everyone's just like, in my head, I play it back like, Martha, like as she walked by, she looked great.
And that smolder, right?
She's got like a subtle, commanding presence in her room.
Yeah, it's true though. If you get a new haircut, you're feeling really good. I know every time you get your haircut, Jeremy, every couple weeks.
So I'm feeling really insecure.
All right, you look great.
Thank you. Stop.
Okay, 'tis the season. Kim Kardashian West is embracing a white Christmas theme this year. Kim is showing off her holiday spirit by giving fans a peek at her unconventional Christmas decorations. She shared a series of videos on Thursday on her Instagram stories, revealing monochromatic, abstractly designed trees adorning the hallway of her and her husband Kanye West's home in Hidden Hills, California. I mean, she goes all out, all the Kardashians do, but this is so extravagant here. Kim explained that the white trees, all different shapes, made of a soft, plush fabric, are custom, were also used for the family's 2018 Christmas Eve party, so she's reusing some. Kim and Kanye hosted the annual gathering at their home after mom Kris Jenner, who usually hosts the party, passed on the torch to her daughter. In the videos, Kim references the fictional town created by Dr. Seuss, saying, quote, "I love these, they're so whimsical, like Whoville, but all white. Looking good." Those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, stay with us. Actress Jennifer Beals, she is here live. We're talking to her all about the reboot of The L Word. We're very excited. Plus, Pink opens up about the inspiration behind her son's name and why she decided to start making wine. Really interesting story. Love that. That's coming up in a bit. Stick around.
All right, Daniel Radcliffe is playing a medieval times prince on the second season of his anthology TBS series, Miracle Workers. And while Daniel has previously admitted he's not much of a royalist, he did share some thoughts with us on today's modern monarchy. Listen to this.
Look, I feel like really, like terrible for Meghan Markle. I've always thought like Harry and William seemed, Harry and William, like I know, Prince Harry and Prince William, seemed like very like cool and modern and young, and that's like I don't take a huge interest. I'm sort of hearing bits and pieces, of the bits and pieces I've heard, I am now like picking up that Meghan Markle is being treated to the full force of the British media and all of that stuff, which I can only imagine. Like that's why I was always like, man, you must. That's why I always thought their relationship was sweet, because I was just like, she must love you if she wants to get involved in this crazy life. Like, because it just must be insane. I cannot imagine like what I have and what I went through is like a fraction of what they had and went through, and they went through it from birth. They didn't even get 10 years like I did. So I can't imagine what that life must have like to be lived. So while I'm not like into the institution of the monarchy, I have a huge amount of like respect and empathy for them.
All right, President Trump meets the Queen, but did he get Princess Anne in trouble? Here to give you all the details about that and everything royal, our People's senior news editor, Erin Hill, our royal correspondent, Imogen Lloyd-Webber. Hello, ladies. Good to see you. All right, so let's look at the video.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of buzz about this. There was a lot made of it, especially on the internet. So we take a quick look. President Trump here, and Melania Trump, First Lady, meeting the Queen, some dignitaries. Okay, so here the Queen kind of references Anne, kind of gives the hands up, not really sure. She laughs. It was sort of phrased as a shrug. I didn't really see a shrug, but what do you?
So the interwebs here, let's clear this one up. Anne didn't snub the Trumps or get told off by a mother, okay?
Okay.
Full stop, that didn't happen.
I don't even think it reads that way. Look, there's a laugh at the end. I don't know. I really felt like this was a lot about
The Queen turns to Anne to ask who's next. Anne says it's just me, and then motions towards the back behind her, and that's members of the royal household.
Because this is a greeting line.
It's a greeting line, and it just so happened that the Trumps were last. But the Queen thought that there were other people. After the Trumps, there weren't. The Trumps, I guess, as top VIPs were last. The Queen didn't know that, so she goes to her daughter and
And
checks.
so there's the moment.
So there's
and
that.
The hands up, kind
That's
of like
not the Queen.
It's just me laughing.
It's not Princess Anne dissing Trump. It's not the Queen telling off her daughter at all.
Another case
Get
of the
over it,
internet making a lot about.
Calm
nonsense.
down. As we Brits say, don't get your knickers in a twist.
Okay, there you go. So you heard that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, future Queen Kate Middleton helped Queen Elizabeth host NATO leaders at the palace. Aaron, talk about this. Why this was so significant?
Yeah, this is all about Kate continuing to cement her role as future queen. And this was a really big deal for her to be there, representing her William. William, of course, was on royal tour in the Middle East. And so she's there with her father-in-law, Prince Charles, future king, and of course, current monarch, Queen Elizabeth, like standing in her place. And we're hearing from multiple insiders that they're observing a growing confidence in Kate and that she's really starting to find her voice. So just seeing her there poised and kind of representing and supporting the Queen.
Well, let's talk about this. Then Wednesday, Kate had some fun, some
did.
holiday fun, and a bit of an enchanted forest. Also announced a brand new role that she was given by the Queen. Imogen, give us details on this.
Yeah, so she headed to a farm in the countryside just northwest of London to pick out Christmas trees for the kids to take back to their kindergartens and preschools, and that's linked to the charity Family Action. So the fun visit came as it was announced that Kate has become a patron of Family Action, which is a role passed on to her by the Queen, who has been the figurehead for the charity for 65 years.
So this was directly given to her by the Queen.
So again, this is feeding into what Erin was talking about. The Queen is 93. Her duties are beginning to go to other members of the royal family. This has been going on for quite some time. But yes, so that's Kate picking up one of the Queen's patronage there.
We heard, by the way, that she did so well that she was even maybe kind of offered a job. The guy who runs the place.
Saleswoman.
Yeah, or the saleswoman was saying like, hey, you know what? Maybe on the weekend she can come out here and
She's
handle some
great
of the
with
trees.
kids. Not only has she got 3 kids, but this is all to do with her work with children. So, I mean, it feeds right into that.
Yeah, all right. So it looks like Prince Louis growing up really fast, as the kids do. Aaron, what did we learn about him this week?
I think this is still a part of that growing confidence in Kate. She is sharing more and more details of her kids on outings, which has been really fun for us to learn things about all 3 kids. And this time she shared some fun details about Louis. He's talking. She met a little boy who, when she asked who wants to go pick out Christmas trees, said, me, me, me. And she said, you remind me of my Louis. He's constantly saying me, me, me. He wants to come with me everywhere. So it's really sweet to get that detail and to know he's talking.
Yeah, and it's that early phase when they find a word and just say it over and over and over again.
He's
really
obviously a character, though. We've seen that. And I guess, you know, the youngest child. You've got to make your voice known, don't you?
Oh yeah, you better
That's right.
believe it. He's a handful. So let's move on to this. Some of Princess Diana's letters are actually going on auction. This is a very special thing. One of them gives us a glimpse into the lives of Prince William and Harry as children, as they were looking forward to Christmas. Imogen, tell us a little bit about this letter.
Yeah, so this was written on December the 5th, 1990, when William would have been 8 and Harry 6, and Diana shared her son's love of the festive season, and I quote, "The boys are thrilled at the prospect of Christmas on the horizon and have searched high and low for any parcels that might be coming their way." The letter was addressed to Ivy Woodward, who's a mother who she'd recently befriended while visiting Charles in hospital earlier that autumn. Charles was being treated for a broken arm at the time, and Woodward's son lay in a coma following a motorbike accident, so that's how they met.
Okay.
But interesting, it was written on a monogrammed letter paper with a red border, and it shows Diana's cipher, which is almost identical to the one used by both Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle.
Interesting.
And they very much followed both Kate and Meghan in Diana's footsteps, and that they do their handwritten notes a lot. It's a lovely touch for people to receive.
It's simultaneously solemn, but then also very sweet to kind of hear her recounting the lives of the childhood of Prince William and Harry, just like any kid, you know, looking for the packages, where are my gifts, that whole thing. All right, Aaron, this week was Giving Tuesday, of course. It was celebrated in the United States and in the UK. How did Meghan Markle and Prince Harry promote doing good?
Yeah, so they're still on their 6-week break from royal duties, but they have not stopped posting on Instagram for the causes that mean a lot to them. So they did share an inspirational quote on Giving Tuesday, just inspiring people to get out there and give to charities. And they also said they were inspired by the 12 days of Christmas and highlighted 12 specific charities that they wanted to highlight to maybe give people incentive to donate to these organizations.
Yeah, and sometimes people sort of pass that type of thing off, but they have a huge platform. It really does draw attention and grow support for those causes when they do something as simple as post about it, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Absolutely, that's the royal family's job, to put a good spotlight on good causes.
Yeah. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Good to talk to you.
See you.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Full disclosure, we've known each other for about 25 years.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Okay, and in those 25 years, have I ever gone easy on you? Cut you any slack? Played
Not
off the
even
hook?
for a single day.
Okay, so do your voters know that you stole a billboard In the mid-aughts?
Oh, we borrowed it.
Oh, we.
borrowed.
Oh, you're okay. Okay. Were you going to keep that on the DL? Because I didn't get that memo.
I think we
I
should.
missed that.
Over 10 years after The L Word went off the air, a sequel series to the iconic lesbian-focused drama is about to hit Showtime this weekend. The L Word, Generation Q, has new cast members plus 3 of the original series stars, including lead Jennifer Beals reprising her role as Beth Porter. Jennifer is here with us now. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So good to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can we just say that you already started with us and gave us like words to live by? I think the quote, which I'm going to embroider in a pillow, is travel and see the world, you're going to die. Which is, okay, it's very straightforward. And that's what you were saying, that you lived a time in Paris, you backpacked solo through Europe. How incredible is that?
Youth hostel, stayed I just think that, it's just so wonderful to experience the world. You only have a limited amount of time. Like, go and follow your joy. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can stay in a crummy little place and go experience a great city.
Maybe even have a better experience that way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Maybe or get mugged, but it might still work out.
Yeah,
Were there ever scary times? Because as you did that.
You know what? I never had a scary time. I never had any, weird things happen to me when I was traveling by myself at all.
Well, that's fascinating.
So fun, though.
Yeah, I had a lot of very nice people, like especially in Iceland. There were times where I didn't have a place to stay, and people would come up to me and say, "Hey, well, I see you don't have a place to stay. Would you like to stay with us?" That was a little scary. I'm not going to lie. I put the furniture against the door when I went to go sleep at night. But just people were so friendly.
Yeah,
people
that's
were really friendly.
Really great. So speaking of scary, was it at all scary to bounce back into the world of the L Word, right? And this character.
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really exciting. I mean, one of the things that was challenging was to try to figure out, it's been 10 years since we've seen Bet, and trying to figure out what core values she still has, how she's the same, but also how she's different, and trying to re-enter into that mindset. And it wasn't really until I got my cufflinks on,
that you
got my
fell
power
back
suit
into
back
it.
on, that I fell back into.
Did you think it was coming back for you, that you would jump back into this eventually?
Well, Kate Mennick, who plays Shane, and Leisha Haley, who plays Alice, and I all really instigated the return because we saw a need for it, because we really thought that something would replace it as soon as it went off the air, because it had been so successful, and then nothing did, and some more time passed, and then this new generation came along and just changed everything, changed the way that we talk about gender identity, changed the way we talk about sexual orientation, and just changed the language, And we thought, how fantastic would it be to be able to tell these new stories along with, finding out where these characters are 10 years later.
Yeah, and now your character is running for mayor. In the years that the show was off the air, did you ever envision this for her?
Well, I thought it was a natural extension of who she was in a way, and the last 2.5 years have been really challenging for her. And some people run for egoic reasons, and some people run because they've had a personal experience that's really changed them. And I think that's true in the case of Beth. And you've seen her testify before Congress before. You know that she's politically minded. You know that she's a crusader. So it seemed to make sense.
Yeah, and as an executive producer, how much input did you have shaping her story?
A little bit, but I knew that I wanted her to run for office, but I think it's really important to give the showrunner the reins too. We have a new showrunner, Marcia Lewis Ryan, and I wanted her to figure out where she thought the character might go, and then, of course, make tweaks if I didn't feel that it resonated. But, it's been really, really exciting.
So let's talk about this. We've got you, Catherine Menning, Leisha Haley. But what can you tell us about some of the new cast and new characters that are coming in?
First of all, the actors that play these new characters are just phenomenal. They are so full of energy, so talented, and just dove in right away. And I wanted, as an EP and as one of the original actors from the show, I wanted them to know that there's not the new cast and the old cast, there's the cast. We're together and we're making the show. And some of them had watched the show when they were younger, and the show meant a lot to them. And some of them had even watched it in secret, because they didn't want their parents to know that they were watching the show because they hadn't come out yet, which was really.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it was really sweet, and but now they get to give back to the next generation.
It must have been so nice from a culture setting perspective to hear that from you and from the top that like, hey, to the newbies especially, we're all one team here. But I would think coming into that environment, there had to be moments of fanning out a little bit, had to kind of get it out of their system, like, can't believe we're here, can't believe we're with you guys after being fans of the show.
I think it was sometimes surreal for them in the beginning, but then you just get down to the work.
Yeah.
You know, and we're all there to serve the story, and we're all there to serve our characters. And, you know, and you move on from that moment.
Love that.
You know?
Yeah. A big storyline of Bets in the past was this on and off again relationship with Tina, played by Laura Holloway. Now it hasn't.
Holloman.
Oh, Holloman, sorry. It wasn't publicized that she would be back. Will we maybe see Tina make a?
Well, she's, you know, Laurel Holloman has done an extraordinary thing where she has a really beautiful, powerful art career. She became a painter. I mean, she was a painter prior, but her career completely took off. I mean, there's a lot of characters that I would love to see come back. I would love to see Pam Grier come back. I would love to see Holland Taylor come back. I'd love to see Marlee Matlin come back. And certainly, I would love to see Laurel come back if she ever had time. So who knows, maybe we'll figure out something someday.
So there's a lot of room there to find out what happens. The series finale of the original L Word ended on this cliffhanger. Who killed Jenny? Not specifically answered. No spoilers, of course. We know you can't do it. Will there be resolution for fans on that looming question as we move forward here?
I can guarantee you there will be resolution for fans on that issue.
Complete resolution?
Complete
Oh,
resolution.
what a relief. Thank you. Well, there was no question. That had to be answered, right?
Yes, it has to be answered.
How happy are you to have that settled? I'm assuming fans would bring that up to you often.
No, I never got that one.
Are you being coy with me?
No,
Really?
honestly,
Really?
I'm not. I'm totally
surprised.
not being coy with you. I promise you.
Well, good. Well, some of us are very excited that that's being answered.
The original had a lot of steamy sex scenes. Has your attitude changed at all with filming those? If you look at filming them now compared to back when you first started?
No, not really. I think it's important to show the sexuality. I think to sort of redefine, how queer sex has been represented in film and television, and I think it's important to get it out there and have that platform. But what do you mean? In what way? Like, has it
No, just
changed?
how, the first time that we saw the show, it was a kind of a big deal, I think, to see that on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's as much of a big deal, but I think it's an important component.
Yeah.
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 Well, we got to talk about this a little bit. Just a little. People love you from Flashdance. It's something that you're even saying that you did your hiking and things after that. And I just imagine how life must have changed for you. You were a student at Yale and then went back to school, right? How did that version of you, when you think about that new fame, how did that feel when you go back to school and you kind of like bounce back to life as normal, or was life ever normal again?
It was completely normal at school.
Really?
And yeah, it was completely normal at school. Well, I mean, Jodie Foster was already there. So having an actor there of some kind of fame wasn't a novelty. And,
Sure.
frankly, there were so many people doing extraordinary things at school, people writing novels and doing incredible experiments, and so.
I guess that is
Totally
a good
normal.
point when you're in a school and an environment, a culture where everyone's extraordinary. It's easier to.
Well, people, I don't know if everybody's extraordinary, but people have definite passions, and they're willing to pursue those passions. So,
Yeah.
I was surrounded by people like that.
So interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah,
It's
very
really
exciting, yeah.
energizing.
Yeah. These days, when you hear "What a Feeling" or "Maniac," what kind of feeling does that bring out of you?
I think about my trailer. I think about Charles Schultz doing the Snoopy drawing with the sweatshirt.
Oh, wow.
But mostly, I just kind of remember being on set.
Yeah. And you're also executive producing a new series, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Yes.
What excites you the most about this project?
I'm really excited that it talks about, again, identity. It talks about race, and it talks about sexuality. And I also love that I'm partnered with Taylor Jenkins Reid, who's the author of the book, who's writing the pilot, and my dear friend Eileen Chaikin, who, of course, was the originator of the L Word.
Will you be starring in it?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. That was funny the way I said that. No, absolutely not. But no, I won't. But there are some times when I read something or I imagine something, and I just want to see the story. I don't necessarily need to be in it, but I just very selfishly want to see it.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense, I think. Hey, something else that's on our radar here at People, The Hive, one of People's best books of 2019, something that you also co-created the concept for it. Talk about that and how the story of cyberbullying and online shaming, how did that come to you and what does it sort of mean to you?
Well, again, a lot of ideas come to me either when I'm swimming or I'm hiking, and I was talking to friends about, the changes on online behavior and how people feel that when they're anonymous, somehow they can be so much more punitive. And I was just imagining a world like 5 minutes into the future where what if all of that got really out of control and people were really acting upon all of those things they were calling for online. Like even now there are terrible like revenge threads where people actually ask people to go to somebody's house to do something horrible. So just imagining an extrapolation of that where it got so bad that the government felt they had to come in and create an algorithm for to organize that sort of social punishment.
Shut down some, okay,
well,
right.
no, to just organize it so that it wasn't as bad as it was, but so that it was just organized. And I imagined this young girl who makes an offhanded comment online, and she's just she's new in her school, and she's trying to impress the mean girls. Her father's just passed away, and she just makes this offhanded comment, and all of a sudden, it gets spun out of control, and the algorithm goes off, and all of a sudden, the Hive is coming after her to punish her for this thing that she said. And so Tom Jacobson, my producing partner, and I, we wrote a treatment for the idea and sold it to a publisher. And we were so lucky to have Barry Lyga and Morgan Baden write the book because they took the idea and just made it.
It's very believable. It's frighteningly believable. That's the kind of interesting part.
Thank you.
You were doing so much. You're also, on top of everything, a C40 Goodwill ambassador working for climate change. I mean, I think a lot of people out there are uninformed. What are things that people should be doing every day to help the environment?
Well, I think you need to educate yourself for sure. And I think one of the things that could be most impactful, because it's usually, corporations really need to rethink how things are manufactured and how we consume things. I think if you go through every day thinking, how am I consuming things? How much single-use plastic am I using? How often am I gassing up my car? What are changes personally that you can make? But then also talking to maybe your employer and just, setting up some kind of committee to say, okay, how can we be a greener company? And then, of course, advocating, politically to have political change so that we can accelerate change, because we really need a radical change in the way we think about things and a radical change in complete systems across the board.
Yeah, simple changes, things that we can do to affect the demand for things, and it can really make an impact. Thank you for sharing all of this. And everyone, be sure to watch this wonderful lady on the premiere of the L Word, Generation Q. It's this Sunday, December 8th, 10 p.m. Eastern on Showtime. Check it out. All right, Pink may be taking some time off from making music in honor of a year with family, but that does not mean that she's quitting making wine.
Yes, Pink owns a vineyard and creates wine, and she's really into it. She recently sat down with Food & Wine's executive wine editor, Ray Isle, and shared why going from making music to owning a vineyard was seamless for her.
I think the natural transition is either stay on stage until you die, or go crazy, or kill your husband.
Which could go with either one of those. Yeah.
No, I honestly, so music and all of that and performance art has brought me all over the world. And when you're on tour, you basically see the hotel gym and the venue. And if you're lucky, you get a day off. And for me, on my day off, where I want to go is somewhere quiet in nature and somewhere I can learn something. And so that became 15 or 20 years ago for me, vineyards.
I want to hang out with her and her fam there.
I do too.
Pink also reveals what inspired the name of her vineyard. It's called Two Wolves. It's all based on an old tale she says really made an impact on her. Watch.
The Two Wolves parable has been following me my whole life. And it is a story of a grandfather speaking to his grandson. And the grandfather is explaining to the grandson that there's this war raging inside of each of us. And it's a war of two wolves. And one wolf is greed, jealousy, anger, fear. And then the other wolf is love and compassion and kindness and generosity and curiosity. And the grandson thinks about it for a second and he says, well, which wolf wins? And the grandfather says, the one you feed. And to me, that's always given me shivers up my spine because it's all about balance, right? I've been in places in my life where I've been completely out of balance and in a bad place. And I have found balance in my life.
And while Pink enjoys a drink from time to time, she admits that her son Jameson's name isn't entirely an ode to the famous whiskey maker.
People assume it is.
Right.
But my dad's name is James, my brother's name is Jason, Carrie's middle name is Jason. We're both of Irish descent.
Right.
And we like whiskey.
That all makes sense. The name's perfect. It all worked out. All right, watch this.
At 10, she and her family moved to Houston, where she discovered her two musical loves, hip-hop and the flute.
We just love Lizzo so much. I mean, not just anyone can make the flute look so cool.
It's true, and we're honoring Lizzo in the latest episode of People and Katie Couric's #SeeHerStory. It's a weekly video series celebrating female trailblazers from the past 100 years.
Yeah, we actually have 2 new episodes this week. The other spotlights Elizabeth Glaser, who became an AIDS crusader after being transfused with the disease while giving birth to her daughter.
She unknowingly passed it on to her daughter through her breast milk and then onto her son in utero.
When Ariel died at just 7, the Glazers decided to tell their story at a time when AIDS was both feared and misunderstood.
The message about AIDS is that this is something we all have to pay attention to. This is something that's affecting all different parts of society. We can't keep it off in that corner as we've tried to do, to say this is someone else's problem.
And to watch all of the #SeeHerStory episodes, head to people.com.
I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna count to 3. When I finish, you're gonna be gone. All right?
Okay.
One, 2, 3.
It's intense, and it hurts a little bit. You've seen him in the John Cena comedy Blockers, as well as last year's Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis. Now he stars as a troubled college freshman named Luke, who suffers a violent family trauma. It reunites him with his even more troubled imaginary friend Daniel, played by Patrick Schwarzenegger. And Daniel isn't real.
He, however, is real. We're welcoming him to People Now, Myles Robbins. Thanks
Hi.
for joining us.
Good to
How's
talk
it
to you.
going?
Thanks for having me. Oh, I can see myself.
There you are, you're
Yeah.
everywhere. When you see that, what goes through your head? Is it as intense for you, or what do you remember about like a day like that shooting?
Well, that was the first day that we shot something, actually. I remembered the coffee was pretty good on set, and I had some seltzer. I won't say which brand.
Okay, right. Thank you for being respectful to all brands.
I don't know who your sponsors are.
Well, here's a question for you from an acting perspective. You talk about, I mean, look, there's heavy stuff here. Violence, family trauma, all this sort of internal dilemma going on. I feel like that would be a challenge to get into that headspace as an actor. Was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really great to be able to empathize with difficult situations and people going through a hard time. That's one of the good things that an actor can do, I guess, is try to create an empathetic view of these people. So it was a challenge, but I'm happy I did it.
Yeah.
And, it didn't make me too sad.
Oh, good.
Because it is really heavy. So what was your reaction the first time you watched the completed film?
Well, the first time I watched it, I was just trying to make sure I didn't look stupid.
Okay, right, yeah.
And so I think that worked fine. And
So it's like an aesthetic pass first, like.
yeah,
hey.
I just don't want to, you know, I just make sure I don't look like I'm, you know, being too silly up there. So but I think that watching it, you know, I know that all the demon monster things that are there, like I saw him eating lunch, so you know, and it's hard to be kind of scared of them when. You know, I guess I saw him got the ravioli on the chin.
Yeah, okay,
that kind of
hey,
stuff,
little
you
something
know.
here, wipe it, and
So it's hard to be spooked, I guess, but
But yeah, I guess it was all right.
So a question for you, working alongside Patrick Schwarzenegger in this, you guys both, I guess in some similarity, you grew up in the spotlight. Was there any bond over that and maybe that shared experience?
Well...
Or at least in the business, right? Or really?
Yeah, I mean, he grew up in LA, I grew up in New York. I think that we do have in common the fact that we often have to answer questions about our families when talking about projects that they don't have anything to do with.
Right.
But that's probably the only similarity that we share with our family lives.
Was that from a filmmaking perspective? Was it necessary for you guys to have like an icebreaker? Hey, we want you guys to hang out and get some.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to like actually know the people you're working with. So we had a good time kind of getting to know each other, doing rehearsals and having a couple meals and stuff before. And he's a really, really great guy. So.
Because you're in a lot of scenes together. Is there a favorite scene or a memory you have with him, working with him?
I would say that, well, I don't want to have too many spoilers, but there's some kind of fighting that we might do that was a lot of fun. There's also some great prosthetic things that we had to do, and it was pretty funny to be on set with him in our rubber stuff.
Yeah.
Fully dialed into those characters.
You just mentioned having to talk about your parents. Can we talk about it for just a little bit? Because your dad was just here on this show.
Sure.
Mom, Susan Sarandon. I mean, how did they shape and influence your acting career growing up?
Well, they actually wanted me to be a early 20th century oil baron, but I wasn't that good at it. So
it's really a departure for you to do this.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was cool for me. It was just kind of their job, and I guess, it didn't seem like it was that weird of a thing to do, but I enjoy doing it, and yeah.
Your dad's so proud of you. When he was here, he was talking about how incredible he thinks you are, and I think it was really sweet.
I'm really glad that he told you that, and I'll go call him and and tell him to tell me right now.
Say it if it's
yeah. Say it, Dad.
By the way, turns out you're also a singer-songwriter. Can you tell us more about that? The Pow Pow Family Band.
Yeah, I have a band called the Pow Pow Family Band. It is the worst cult in America. We are a family of friends, chosen family. We like to make songs and sing them for you. And hopefully from those songs you can get a little bit of insight into how weird it is to be a hairless monkey with pants on.
Okay, that makes sense.
Those are our songs.
I was just gonna say, how did it come about? Like, what was the origination of like, hey, I want to do a band?
I think that when I first started the band, I was like 13. I wanted to be cool, and if you want to be cool, you should start a band. But then I learned how to play guitar, which is a really good thing to know how to do.
If you want to.
At first to be cool, but then later when you don't care about that as much, then you can play guitar still. So then I learned how to play guitar, and I could play guitar, and then. I don't know, I'd started writing songs at a certain point because it's cheaper than therapy.
Okay.
What's a concert experience like if we would go to a show?
It is theatrical a little bit. It's maybe grown-up songs for, or children's songs for grown-up children.
Okay.
Is the experience.
I guess,
our shows.
Not to overthink the artistic angle of it, but you're an artist. Between acting and music, where do you feel like you really express yourself the most in the most fulfilling way?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think that music is kind of an act of self-expression, purely in a very pure sense, and it's kind of about being the most you that you can be. And then I think that acting is about empathy and getting into somebody else's headspace.
Sure.
So they kind of are really complementary, and I'm really glad that I can have the opportunity to do both, and I'm grateful every time I get a chance to. So.
Yeah, and you said you joked that it's cheaper than therapy, but I feel like making music would actually be very therapeutic. Has that been the case for you?
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely specifically therapeutic for everyone who does it. So I think that it's I recommend it if you at home all want to learn how to play the guitar, the hurdy-gurdy or whatever, that's a good idea.
Myles, thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you guys. Yeah, thanks for having me.
And everyone, Daniel Isn't Real is in theaters now. You can check it out. You can also catch it on VOD and digital.
Woo!
Yeah.
And coming up next week, we're joined by Marla Sokoloff. She's in the holiday spirit, directing Christmas Hotel. It's a Christmas movie on Lifetime.
Yeah, plus, Brendan Routh is stopping by to talk about reprising his role as Superman in the biggest Arrowverse crossover yet.
We're also going to have more from Daniel Radcliffe next week. He's talking to us about meeting his girlfriend, dealing with fame, sharing where you should not go up to him and say hello. Oh, right.
Yeah.
This very specific story where he doesn't want to be bothered. And it's relatable to basically all of us.
It really is. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Grey's Anatomy's Dr. Owen Hunt. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Kevin McKidd, and this is One Last Thing. The last TV show that made me cry was HBO's Succession.
People would do well to remember there's going to be a new sheriff in town.
Well, he asked me to run the company. I'm kidding. Am I?
And I cried just because the season ended and I wasn't ready for it to end. The last song I sang along to was this morning, getting ready for this interview, and I was singing along to Donny Hathaway's cover version of What's Going On. So the last parenting moment that caught me off guard, I've been a parent for a long time now, and I have little babies. Probably the last diaper change that I had to do with my son Aiden, it was pretty shocking.